Hi, I'm Nancy, and this is our Thanksgiving practice. So we're just doing some fun animals and our typical stretches and strengthening to prepare ourselves for Thanksgiving Day. Please take a seat where your hips can be a little higher than your knees. Where your spine can be long. I should mute. Great. So making your spine long and reaching up through the crown. Coming into a long breath that fills your torso like water fills a jar, from belly up through ribs and into upper chest. And then letting the breath go out like water flowing out of a jar, top to bottom. Let this be the calm that will take you through whatever storm there is for Thanksgiving and whatever pleasure. Let the breath come so that it is fat in the middle and thinner on the ends. So there's a broader flow of air through the middle of the breath. Inhale and exhale. Each one getting fat in the middle. Big flow. And then we'll do the Tibetan purification breaths. So on the inhale, the left hand comes up, inhaling through both nostrils. Exhale, middle finger goes against left nostril. Exhale out of right nostril. And let the left hand come down, the end of that exhale. Inhale through both nostrils, right hand rises. Exhale, middle finger against right nostril, and exhale, left nostril. Right hand comes down. Continue. Exhale, left. That was exhale, right. And inhale, both. Exhale, left. Inhale, both nostrils. Exhale, right. Inhale, both. Exhale, left. Both hands come down. Inhale up through both nostrils, lifting up through the crown. Exhale as you bend forward from the base of the spine, exhaling all the air. Inhale as body lifts. Exhale, expel the air. One more time. Lifting up, arms come along the sides. Inhale, and a big sun breath, reaching fingers out to the sides and way up as palms meet, and pause for a moment. And exhale down. Two more times. May our hearts be grateful. May our bodies be nourished by the earth's abundance. May our spirits be replenished. Grateful for the earth's abundance. Take one more breath here. And we're going to come to a standing position, coming up into mountain pose. Bring the feet directly under the hips. Feel through all four corners of the feet. Let your energies dance a bit as the heels ground down. Shins come forward just a bit, activating the leg. Thighs rotate inwards, broad through the back of the hips, lifting up through the abdomen, long and strong. Shoulders surrendering down to gravity. Some energy up through the back of the neck. Breathing a few times here. Becoming the energies of the earth. And bring hands so that they come up above the head. Palms are up and fingers not quite touching. Inhale as you push up, holding up the sky. And exhale back. And two more times. Let us be willing to see the big picture in all things. Hands come down, then sweeping up and around, bring the palms together, interlace fingers to steeple fingers, 4 fingers together, ground down through the feet, inhale up through the fingers and exhale over. Stretching, starting to open up the lateral aspects of the body. Two more times each way. Let us be prepared for change. Coming up through center, hands sweep down. Hands come onto the sacrum, fingers pointing down in the back. One hand gives support through one side of the pelvis, keeping the pelvis nice and even. Still energy through the legs. The other arm reaches up, reach up through the mid-sternum, relax through the jaw, tucking in the base of the neck. And exhale back. One more time on the same side. Other hand comes to the other side, giving support to the pelvis, reaching up through mid-sternum, relax through throat, and exhaling back. One more time on that side. Then both hands to the sacrum in the back, very stable across the hips, squeezing the shoulder blades a bit together, reaching up through the mid-sternum, tucking in the nape of the neck, and opening through the mid-breastbone. And come back, tucking in the chin as you come. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down, hands onto thighs or running down onto the shins. Hips rise, opening in the hips in the back as the thighs turn inwards. Gaze forward a bit of a back bend here. One more inhale and exhale. Then soften the knees and the hips. Bring the hands forward a foot or more, a couple of feet perhaps in front of the feet. Feet are a little bit wider. So it's a 4-legged forward fold. as if you are a four-legged animal, support in all of your limbs. Then bring the weight back, bend the knees, and the arms, forearms come along on the thighs. Come forward, letting your weight come forward over all your paws. Coming back once again onto your back paws, perhaps like a squirrel ready to eat. And one more time, forward and back. Rise up and bring the feet wide. We're going to do a nice big side bend to open up. Inhale, one arm up and over. Feeling that opening through the side of the hip, the side of the leg, all the way up through the shoulder. 2 more times in each direction. Gipsy's prayer goes on to say, let us be a positive influence on those we meet. As she was, I might add. Then coming up through center, turn the toes out to 45 degrees. Feet are wide, knees bent, tailbone comes down a bit, and shoulder goes towards opposite knee. Bringing a twist to the spine, keeping some length in the spine at the same time, from the sacrum out through the crown. One more time to each side. Come back through the middle, keeping strength through the legs. Inhale as stomach sinks and heart slides forward. Exhale as the back rounds. Sinking the back down through a cow pose and then lifting it up into the cat pose. And one more time in each direction. Come back through neutral, rise up. Bring the feet so that they're under the hips once again. Feel all 4 corners of the feet and energize as you zip up through the legs, open through the back of the hips, strong through the abs. Come up onto tiptoes as arms come out to the side and back down. Up and down and up and down. Let the chin come down to the chest and draw a necklace. Let the shoulders relax. Feeling any stretching through the back and the neck. And then bringing the chin up over the shoulder. Loosening yourselves up for whatever work there is in front of you to make a wonderful holiday. Then coming back through center, gaze comes forward. Bring opposite hand to opposite cheek and turn the chin towards the shoulder. Inhale, cheek presses into hand. Exhale, chin towards shoulder, looking to the side. Inhale, cheek to hand and back around. And take a breath here. Relaxing down through shoulders and the side of the neck. Release the hand, come back through center. Other hand comes up to opposite cheek. Inhale, cheek into hand. And exhale as chin comes round. Inhale, cheek into hand. And exhale, round. Relax down through shoulder blades. Strong through lower body, so the upper body can be quite light. And come back through center. Inhale, the shoulders come up to the ears and back around and down. Broad through the back as the shoulders come together in the front, up to the ears. And continue around a few more times. And then come around once the other direction. Bring the shoulders up to the ears and let everything gently settle down. Bring the hands to the hip creases. Feet come wide. We're going to do hip circles. Hips come over to the side and back, side and front. The knees can be loose here, allowing the hips a little bit more leeway. And turn around the opposite direction. Gipsy urges us to let us show kindness and mercy, both to our own bodies, to our families, our friends, and the people we don't know in the world. Now coming to bring the feet together, the knees together, the thighs together, knees bend, hands come down onto the thighs just above the knees, and we'll turn the knees round. So knees turning round, and you'll notice the hips are turning a bit, and there's a turn around the circumference of the feet. Round the opposite direction. And come back through center. Establish a foundation leg here. Ground it down through the four corners, zip up through that leg, and come up onto the toe of the other foot. This is just a gentle balance. And let's flap our wings very rapidly and awkwardly. I remember I had a turkey outside my house, and this dog came by, flapped up, and managed to get up in the low branches of a tree. And bring your weight into the other foot. Establish that foundation leg, strength up, and coming up on the toe, and flapping your way up once again. Turkeys are no longer around my house, but as we know, they are there. And coming back onto your feet, we're going to come back onto that original foundation leg, establish your strength in that leg, good focal point, and then bring the foot back behind and turn on from the front of the foot to the back of the foot, toes. So we're turning our toes here from the front of the toes to the back of the toes, and the ankles turning round. Meanwhile, you can feel that up through your knees and your hip and come around the opposite direction. Meanwhile, keep that foundation leg strong. Lower abs long and strong. Then come to the other leg. Establish your foundation leg, ground down, lift up, lift around a little bit for strength, and then turn on the toe on the other side. Let the abs be long and strong here. And round the other direction. And bring the foot back. Now we're going to do that undulation through the spine. And it really is a cat-cow. So your pelvis goes back, your buttocks goes back, your chest comes forward, and then you are rounding your back. And then the back's becoming concave and then coming forward. So it's really a moving cat-cow here as you undulate your spine. 3, 2, and 1. Bring one foot forward and the other one back. We're coming into warrior one. Your feet are in a narrow railroad lines. Bring the hips around so they're facing towards the front of the mat. Front knee is bent. Open the arms in the back, palms open. Feeling that openness through the collarbone, the breastbone. Shoulder blades squeeze together a bit. Inhale as arms arch up. Bring the lift up through mid-sternum, open through the throat, tuck in through the base of the neck, press down through the back foot. And exhale down. Come up once more. Weight in both feet. Thighs reaching towards each other through the hips. May we know that there are blessings everywhere. And come down. Hands to the hips. Bring the other foot forward. Bring the hips so that they are facing towards the front of the mat. Strong through both legs, coming back and up through the hips. Weight in that back foot. Arms open behind, palms forward. Enjoy the opening through the front of the lungs. Then inhale as arms arch forward, lift through the mid-sternum. Open to those blessings. And exhale down. And one more time. And come down. Bring the feet together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, knees and hips are soft as hands come down into a four-legged forward fold once again. So we're weight equally in the hands and the feet. Then bring one foot so that it's more under the body as the other leg kicks up like a donkey. Donkey kick up in the back. 3, 2, and 1. Weight in the other foot and bringing the other leg up. Big donkey kick or up as far as serves you. For 3, 2, and 1. Walk the hands forward and feet back, coming down into plank, knee up or knee down. Strong through the arms, supporting the shoulders, strong through the abs, supporting the hips. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Elbows come close, knees come down. Let's come into Sphinx. Let the hips rest down, the legs in front of the feet. Feeling the blessings of this season. Torso comes down and hands come under the shoulders, elbows close, tuck the toes, push into the hands, dig into the hands, hips rise, weight comes back over the feet. Perhaps pedal the heels up and down a bit, broad through the upper back, eyes of the elbows turning inwards and upwards just a bit, long from pelvis, ribs, down through head. And letting the heels come just gently towards the mat. Come forward into plank. Elbows come close, come up into cobra. The snake appears. It is a friendly snake. And come back into child's pose. Let the rabbit appear as hands come back to hold the feet and the nose comes towards the knees. Wrapping up into a little bunny pose. Inhale, lift up. We're going to do a twist here on our butts on our heels. If you'd like a blanket or anything underneath, between the legs, between the thighs and the calves, that's fine. bring one hand back behind, and the other one reaches up and over to the side to bring a twist as you're looking with your gaze down to that hand in the back. Breathe here. Then lift up with the upper hand, change arms, the other one reaches up, other one comes back behind, and gaze goes towards the hand in the back. Do that one more time on each side. May we understand that our attitude affects outcomes. And the other side. Coming up through middle, hands can come back behind. They might be on your feet or they might be back on the mat. And you might just open up through the chest and the waist, or you might raise up through the hips slightly into a kind of back bend here. 3, 2, and 1, and come back. Removing anything that's between your legs, coming up onto your knees. We're going to be tigers. So bringing your hands into tiger claws, and we'll bring them down a tree, then they'll rise up softly, and at overhead, then we will turn them like this to kind of sharpen our claws, and then we'll come down the tree once again. So let's raise the arms up, claw down the tree, soften as palms and curled fingers rise up, then turning the fingers, sharpening your claws up here, and scraping down over the tree. The harshness and then the softness of the tiger. Turning your claws up above and scratching down. Softening up. Turning up at the top. And one more time, scratching down. Bring hands to the waist and one foot comes forward. Bring the knee back a little bit so you get some opening in the front of the hip flexor, front knee over the ankle. The hand of the back leg is going to reach up, lifting up the sky, and the hand of the front leg will reach down, pushing down into the earth. Pull back a bit with the front leg and forward a bit with the back hip so that the hips are even. Let the shoulder blades surrender down and breathe. Let the hands come down, and we're going to pivot to the side into a gate pose. And you can always do this standing up too. If the knees bother you, always have a blanket under the knee if you'd like to. Inhale as arm reaches up and the other hand floats down the leg. Oh, nice opening in the side here. One hand comes down, one reaches up, radiate out from the core, radiating out all of your kindness and mercy. And coming out once again, up and over. Radiate out. One last opening of the gate on this side. And radiating out through the core. Then coming back down, bring your feet together, feet coming right under the buttocks and knees bent. Hands come onto the knees, pull back from knees to shoulders so your arms become like cables, wobbling I'm wobbling quite a bit here. And if you need to keep one hand down or two hands down, that's fine. And then relinquishing the wobbling, we're going to come into gate on the other side. So coming back down onto that knee, making sure the knee is right under the hip, leg reaching out to the side, reaching up, bend over, sliding down the leg. And comes down to the mat, reach out, strength radiating out from the belly, strong in all directions, and coming up and over. And coming down. Gipsy writes, nothing is beyond possibility. And come over. And one last, radiating out. And come down. Bring that knee in and turn to the other direction as we come into a knee down lunge on this side. With the knee back a little bit, squaring the hips towards the front of the mat. The hand of the back leg reaches up, the hand of the front leg reaches down, pressing up to the sky and down to the earth, being the human that is in between. Hands come down around the front foot. Knee comes back, push into the front hands, tuck the toes, raise the hips, bring the weight back into downward dog. Come back to that very long spine, reaching from the neck all the way down through the tailbone. Taking a moment here to be long and strong, grateful for this body that we've been given. Then coming forward into plank. And you might come into up dog here, since we're doing animals a bit today. Onto the front of the feet, perhaps strong through the arms, lifting up through the shoulders. Or you can bring your knees down and be on the knees at the same time. Nice stretch through the front of the body. Then coming back into tabletop with hands directly under the shoulders and knees under the hips. Keep the strength coming up through the arms. Inhale as stomach sinks and heart slides forward. Exhale as you round your cat back up. And slouch down into the sway back of a cow, but still with good support from arms and legs. One more time in each direction. And come back through neutral. Bring one foot forward. And keep the hands down around that front foot. Lift the heel in the back and the knee in the back, pushing back through the heel. Feel that laser energy going back through the heel, but this hip on that side also comes forward just a bit so that the hips are even. Feeling the full stretch here. Bring front hand inside the front foot. Turn the back foot and open up into a twist. Let the hand on the top come back to the waist, strong through both feet as you bring the hand up to the knee and rise up into warrior two. Arranging the feet as you need to. Reaching out from shoulders through elbows, out through fingers. Bend the front arm, come down onto the thigh, arm comes up and perhaps comes over the ear. Sweep it back, hand comes back to the back thigh and reach up. And one more time in each direction. Then turning, come down with both hands in front of the foot on the other side. Reaching back through the heel on that side. Feel the full effect, drawing the hips horizontally even with each other. The thighs and hips strengthen. Bring the outward hand of the front foot to the inside of that foot. Open up. Turn the foot in the back so that you've got the sole of the foot on the floor. Top hand comes down to the knee, strong through the legs as you bring that hand up to the knee and come into warrior two. Feel the lightness in the top of the body as you feel the strong grounding through feet and up through legs and hips. Front arm comes down onto the thigh and reach forward or up. Come back through. Sky gazing warrior. May we feel perpetual gratitude for the day in front of us. One more time in each direction. May we feel perpetual gratitude for friendships. And come back through warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips and toe heel the feet back together. Feet are just a little wider than hip width apart. Knees and hips are just easy and soft. Bring one hand and imagine there is a bowstring that you're pulling across the chest as the other arm pushes the wood of the bow forward. And then the other side, the other hand pulls the bowstring and the other hand pushes out, opening from the heart out through the meridians to the hands. And going from side to side, being that human that we are with our tools, our bows and arrows, but also with our minds of being able to choose what kind of arrow we are sending forth. It might be an arrow of kindness and mercy. What would you like your arrow to be? And coming back through center, we're going to be deer. And I will assume that none of you were trying to get a deer with your arrow. So we have a living deer here. And first we're going to have a female deer. So we have fists up beside our head on both sides, and that is your ears. Bring your weight into one foot with a loose knee, and the other foot comes forward with the sole flat. Bring your weight forward on that front foot. Hand comes to the waist on the other side. Look around. Are there any humans that intend their bows and arrows for me? Then bring the weight back onto the back foot. Everything's fine. Come down and have some grass as your hand reaches down to your shin or your foot. Sweep back up and bring that foot in. Hands go up into ears once again. Weight in the back foot. Hand comes down, look around, weight comes forward. Bring the weight back. And bring the snout down for some grass. Inhale back up. We'll do that once more on each side. Hands come up for ears. Weight in the back foot. Weight comes forward. Hand comes to waist. Look around. Weight comes back. Come down to find some green grass in this increasingly cold and dry time of the year in Montana, but plenty of green grass in Oregon. Come back. And the other side with your ears, weight in the back foot, weight comes forward, look around, bring the weight back, reach down for what is the earth's abundance. And come back up. Now we're going to do the male deer. And for this, we use hooves with all the fingers together. And then they become antlers with the forefinger and the little fingers up. So starting with the hooves to one side, to the other side, the weight is in the back foot and the other foot comes forward on the heel. As the weight comes forward, bring the antlers up over the head. One stays over the head. The gaze turns as the other hand points back to the heel behind, and you might be up on your toe or down on your heel, getting a nice twist here as the deer looks around. Then turning, bringing antlers up over the head, turning them back to hooves as you bring your foot back and the hooves come back to your groin area. Weight comes into the other foot and hooves to the other side. Weight comes forward, antlers rise above the head and point one up and one down. Bring the antlers up and over, back into hooves and down. Coming to the other side, hooves to the side, opposite the front foot. Weight comes forward, antlers come up. The top antler is kind of an arabesque over the head, and the other one pointing back. Turn back, bring the antlers over, become hooves, and come down. And last on the other side, hooves to the side, bring the weight forward, antlers come up and over, and turn around. Inhale, antlers up and round, they become hooves and come back to center. Let's take a breath. Bring the arms out, offering out the abundance that you will share in the next few days. Inhale, as hands come up towards the face, elbows come together, and then open the hands, elbows together or close to each other as you peekaboo out. Hands close back up, reach up, swiping over the hair. The backs of the palms, the backs of the hands come together, elbows are up. Then flip the hands so that palms are together over the head in a kind of Bollywood pose. Then arms come wide and down. Open hands out, offering out. Forearms come together as much as is possible. Hands come up towards the face, peekaboo out. Hands swipe up over the head. Back of hands come together, flip. Front of palms comes together, open up, and come around. One last time, offering out. Bringing hands up, peeking out. Swiping over, backs of palms together, backs of hands together, fronts of hands together, open and come down. With all of these animals visiting, we have to try to be turkeys. We have tried a little bit already with our flapping. We're going to roll, not really a roll, I kind of slide forward with the chin like a bird. sliding the chin forward, and then let the body come into that a little bit more as the chest comes forward and the buttocks comes back. Imagining a bird walking, a turkey walking through the woods, having survived Thanksgiving. Then let yourself be down with chin forward and pelvis back, and just wiggle your pelvis back and forth, imagining your tail feathers going back and forth a bit here, hands on the thighs and the waist for support. Then lifting up, bring hands back behind and up. So hands rise up, then we're going to make the tail of the turkey wide, coming down, back behind the buttocks, and then opening up, letting the hands turn in the way that's most comfortable, and coming up, spreading out your tail, and coming down. One more time in each direction. May we feel perpetual gratitude for lessons to be learned. And one of those is being a turkey on Thanksgiving. And bring your hands down. Bring your feet wide, wider than hip width apart. Hands come to make a frame in front of you. So my hands are like this. And we're going to do what in Tai Chi is known as cow gazing at the moon. Turn through the hips and then the shoulders and then hands as you gaze back at the moon through the frame of your hands. Turn hips back through center and come over to the other side. Hips, shoulders, and hands. Relaxing down through the shoulders. And one more time in each direction. Pivoting back through center. Bring the feet a little wider apart. Feet are out to 45 degrees and knees are bent. Tailbone starts to come down as we come into goddess. Spread the feet as much as you need to, or stay a little more shallow. That's fine. Opening up through the shoulders, extending out through the elbows. Inhale up and back through goddess, tailbone down towards the earth a bit, and up and down. And one more time. Now staying here in a bit of a squat with knees directly in the direction of the toes. And we're going to turn the body to one side, bring it down over the thigh, swing across between thigh to thigh, and come up on the other side, looking in the other direction. Imagine yourself a horse. Bringing your long nose down and across and up, and galloping forward, cantering across the field. And one more time, across and up. Straighten the legs and bring the feet together. Before we end here, I'd like to do a tree. Establish your foundation leg. Feel the four corners of your foundation leg and the bottom of your foot. Strong through the calf and shins. A bit of a turn through the thigh as the thigh rotates inwards, broad through the back. And then bringing the foot, perhaps heel goes to ankle or up to calf. It's okay these days even to put it against the knee or bringing it up thigh into foot and foot into thigh. Strong balance, strong focal point, long through the abs. And open up into your branches. giving blessings, receiving blessings. And bring it down. Establish your other foundation leg, strong trunk, grounding down into the foot, bringing the energy up from the earth, finding the place for your foot, the focal point, hands to heart center, and then opening up into all of the generosity of a tree. And let the arms come down. I'm going to come back down to the mat, onto hands and knees, and we're going to be an insect, perhaps a beetle, perhaps a fly, and just crawling forward, opposite hand and knee, slowly making its way up the mat. And then coming back. One more time, forward. And back. Then bend the knees, roll through the hips, come back onto your back, and bring legs and arms straight up. Ordinarily, this would be dead bug, but let it be an alive bug that's on its back for a moment, and some kind human is going to come along and flip it over so it will live. Just being whatever kind of insect you would like here, moving your legs. Then bend the knees, bring the hands back behind the skull, elbows are wide, 1 foot forward, 1 knee bent up, strong through the muscles under the navel, drawing in through pelvic floor. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the knees, let the head come back. Hug one knee in towards the chest. The other leg will come up to the chest and then stretch out towards the bottom of the mat. So one leg moving, bent to chest and stretching out to bottom of the mat, and the other knee hugged in. Consciously relax through the back of the neck. Let the shoulders surrender down. Giving some exercise here to the psoas muscle deep in the core of the abdomen. One more time out and back. And then coming to the other side. Opening out with the other leg and hug and bringing it up to the chest as you hug the other knee steady. Come back to your breathing as it regularizes with the stretching out and the bringing up of the leg. And let that knee stay up. Rub the hands up the legs, coming to the bottom of the feet, knees coming to armpits, opening up into happy baby. Letting jaw, the back of the neck, back of the waist, relax down. Feel free to take any stretches you would like to here that would feel good for the body as we go into Thanksgiving. Then bringing the knees bent above the hips. Arms can be at cactus with elbows bent, or they can be horizontally straight out from the shoulders. Let the knees fall over to one side. Lift them up and bring them over to the other side. Lift up. Feel this action even up into the armpits and the sides of the chest, sides of the ribs, the abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor. And one more time, over and back up. Let's take a long stretch, reaching down with one heel and lifting the wrist up above your head with the other. And a stretch on the other side. Bring arms along the side. Feet come just a few inches below the buttocks, the soles of the feet grounding down. Press down through the soles of the feet and the shoulders, the back of the head. The back of the neck gets longer as hands reach up and hips rise for moving bridge. Let the breath be slow and regular. Knees parallel, glutes strong as they lift the hips up. And next time you come down, tuck in the shoulders, elbows in towards the waist, lift up the hips, soles of the feet grounding down. Perhaps clasp the hands under the buttocks, maybe the elbows and shoulders tuck in a little bit more. Grateful for the strength through the hamstrings and the shoulders, the muscles all along the spine. One more inhale and exhale here. And let the hips come down. Extend the left leg out. The right foot comes up beside the thigh. And lift the hips, bring them over to the right just a bit. Bring the right foot on top of the left thigh. Left hand draws that knee over, turning around the axis of the spine and the leg. And the back hand comes to where it can be comfortable. It might open out, or the hand might come onto the rib, or it might come up above the head, finding wherever is right. You might even circle. At the same time, let your body relax down to the back of the waist, that hip connecting with the earth, the shoulder connecting with the earth. Coming back into the breath of awareness. Release and come back through center. Change legs. The right leg is extended out and the right foot up by the left foot up by the right thigh. Bring the hips over to the left foot up on right thigh, and right hand gently draws that left knee across. Feel the long axis of the body, the spiraling, the softening down. Roll back through center. Come into a shavasana that can be comfortable for you. Perhaps there's a blanket under your knees, or perhaps your knees are tented together. Just take a few moments here to let everything connect with the earth and its abundance. Soft through the bottom of the feet, up through the backs of the legs, heavy through hips, spine, relax through the front of the throat, the tongue, the nose, the eyes, ears, open and prepared for the change that will come. Open through the crown of the head, soft through the back of the neck, down between the shoulder blades, heart, open out through shoulders, down through elbows, wrists, and the palms of the hands. Lengthen the breathing and bring some movement to fingers and toes. Perhaps roll wrists and ankles as you start to come back. Allowing yourself a few more moments here as you give your knees a hug and make an intention for your Thanksgiving. Then rolling over, we'll come up to a brief sitting position. May our hearts be grateful. May our bodies be nourished. May our spirits be replenished by the earth's abundance. Blessed be. Namaste. Thank you to you all for
Thank you,
sharing
Nancy.
this today.
Have a
Have
great
a wonderful
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving to all of you.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.